those 80s, I mean, people hark back to those 80s and at the 80s and say, you know, it was a halcyon era, a brilliant era of Formula One. Would you agree with that? The cars, the drivers?
Yes, for sure. Is because first of all, we were all learning. We were all at the beginning of a story. Formula One before the 80s was not exactly the same, you know? And we had, I mean, different races with different teams, different constructors, but most important is the technical regulation. We had the freedom, you know. We had you know, they have to find the way, you know, to adjust between the eight. Can you remember that at one stage we had 8-cylinder, 10-cylinder, 3 type of 12-cylinder, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Alfa Romeo, and turbo engine all together, you know. So it was really unbelievable. The good thing is sometimes if you had a turbo car in the early 80s, you go to Monaco, you go to some places like Montreal, you knew that it would be very difficult and struggling. But if you go to Monza or to Silverstone, you had a chance to win, you know. And it was a different philosophy. The drivers, they had unbelievable personalities and charisma, you know, because I think they were coming from a different level, different age also, you know. If you arrive at 25, 27 in Formula One, he was already, I mean, young, you know, at the time. So also we had to arrive to Formula One, we had to do different things, you know, and by ourselves, you know. So it was different, and we had fun, you know, and we had a lot of fun, and we had a lot of risk, a lot of accident. And as I really thought a lot that if we had so much fun, it's also because it was so dangerous, and we were almost like family, and all together. We had some stories like everywhere, like in a big family, but most of the time we were really friends.
You talk about danger. How much did you worry about danger and hurting yourself? And I mean, how much damage did you do to yourself in a racing car in your career?
I had a lot of accidents in the 80s with McLaren, the first year at McLaren. I had 9 mechanical failures on the car during the year. 2 or 3 times I went in the hospital, especially in private test. I remember in Donington, I was really bad, and I took also the wheel on my face in Watkins Glen, the last race in the 80s. That's where I decided to stop. I hurt myself, but the first or second race in KLME, I broke my scaphoid. And that's where I realized that you can hurt yourself in motor racing. Because before you do not have any physical pain, you don't know that can happen. I remember I was really close to Gilles Villeneuve at the time, 81, before his accident. And it was really a strange guy talking about the risk. He was so nice. He's one of my best, friend in Formula One at the time. But he was keeping saying to me, you know, Alain, we can't hurt ourselves in Formula One. It's not possible. He has had unbelievable accident. I don't remember. I don't know if you remember when he went over, you know, the crowd. I don't know where it was, and he never hurt himself. You know, he never felt the pain, and he thought that you cannot hurt yourself. But, you know, these two things, you know, myself, I hurt myself. I had a lot of bad accidents with mechanical failures. And on the other side, I've seen good friends and very close guys being killed or being very badly injured. So from the beginning, I really took care about the safety. And when you're asking the question about preparing the car for the race, that was also a sort of philosophy, that trying to get less risk possible, put everything that you can on your side. I give you an example. At the time, we had the T car. T car, If you ask me why I did not do 24 hours of Le Mans at the time, it's because you had to share your car. And I remember I had a good friend of mine also. He was my manager the first year, Jean-Louis Lafosse. He has died in 24 hours of Le Mans because he took the car at one stage and his teammate was going over the curbs all the time, and then he had a suspension failure in the straight. And it's very difficult to rely on everything and everybody in this business, you know. And when we had the T-car, I can say that I had some drivers where I was very confident with. For example, Nicky, when we had the T-car, I didn't have any problem. I knew that he had the same philosophy. I knew that he, for example, if he goes over a curb in a very bad way, he's going to ask the engineers or technical director, okay, can you check that, or replace the suspension or whatever. He has the same philosophy. Not all drivers have the same thing. So you have to put everything on your side, and that's why if you minimize the risk, that does not say that you have no chance to hurt yourself, but you put again everything on your side.